Hello, everyone. This is Sharing Creations by Carrie. Hope you're doing well. Um, I recorded this, and then I realized I forgot to turn my mic on. And then I had to fight with my phone because it wanted to keep going a long way. Woo. Yep. I'm gonna struggle with some words. Try to go to the side view, like instead of selfie view. Anyway, I have cards for you, and I'm tired. Didn't take my allergy meds, and one of my dogs is complaining because he wants out of his crate right now. And so this is the time. This is about the time that when I'm home, he's already out of his crate, hanging out with mom. So he may be whining. I'm gonna get through this as quick as I possibly can with minimal babble, which I've already spent, I don't know, first several minutes doing that. First thing I have is a birthday card that I made for my husband. Poor guy didn't get his card on his birthday, and I was gonna do it the other day and came in my craft room and totally forgot. And I had an idea for how I was gonna make his card, but then this is nothing what I planned. Um, I wanted to use this cloth holy string paper that I hauled the other day, that I showed in the haul video the other day, and this paper is very interesting. That's for sure. It cuts easy. Um, looks like I got it on there a little crooked, and it looks like I cut it a little crooked. If it's not crooked, then I didn't make it. I swear I'm going to master that straight line thing. Alignment and straight lines. Um, I had taken a die that I cut the biggest size, and then I believe it was 2 down in size, so that it would have a nice border, which is crooked. And then I didn't want to put bling on his, and I went digging through my stash and found these little half dots that I'd gotten from Dollar Tree last year, year before. They've been in my stash for some time, and I've used them quite often. Um, and so I put some of those down, and then did the wish you happy days and joyful moments stamp, the I love you, and signed it. So that's the birthday card for, oh, and I cut the happy birthday out twice and then overlaid it with the blue and the teal. And then, let's see. Let's show you my disaster. This was a train wreck and a headache. I did not cut this out previously when I did the haul when I got it. And so it's like 4.5 inches tall. Did not process wood. I was just kind of winging it. Didn't have an idea set in my head, and so this is what happened. My tree came out messed up. Then I looked at it after I glued it down and I was like, that looks terrible. Well, this is not one of my better ones. I was having a lot of trouble with this one. I shouldn't have been in my craft room at the time because I was not in the right headspace. But I was trying to craft to get in the right headspace. I was using it as therapy. Um, my gingerbread guys, I was just going to color the candy canes and his hat and do some dots for the belly. And it just, my metallic acrylic pens, they were when I put a dot down, it was just spreading. Everything that was going wrong was going wrong. Could go wrong, did go wrong. I accidentally painted his hand, and it started to spiral. I could get The green was a complete disaster. I was dabbing it to get it to stop flowing so good. Tipped it upside down, tapped it so that just a little bit would come out, and then all of a sudden, poof, I got these giant blobs. So this is not one of my better ones. I was trying to make it look like the gingerbread guys were going to hang some candy canes on the tree. It was just, it's not, I'm not proud of this one, and it is what it is. I tried to salvage it. Somebody may appreciate it when they get it, but this bugs me, and I didn't want to just discard it. I didn't want to give up, and so I tried my best to salvage it. It's cute, but then I see all the flaws of everything that went wrong, and so I still may tinker with it a little bit, or I just may leave it alone and call it good. Um, I don't know, but this one was a struggle, and it started with a tree, and it just kind of went downhill from there. Oh well, it happens. Has it happened again? I did these, and this was another one that I did not cut before I showed my haul. And this is how it's supposed to be, but and it's not. I thought it was a um oh, I can't remember what it's called now, where you cut the edge of the paper and then you make it into a card so that you have another card, basically like this, except this die ends up being to where it only cuts a strip, this the snowflake strip. It doesn't cut the paper edge, it cuts out of the paper. So you have to attach it, and I did not know this prehand before I did it. But then I was like, well, I need a panel because I want to be able to put the greeting on the side. And so this one was okay. I did not realize that my paper was so short, and I actually think I cut it too short, not even thinking it through. For some reason, this one was longer, and I don't know why I cut it. I don't know what I was thinking. But so then I was like, well, I don't want to throw this out. I could have not put the ornament on. I could have kept the ornament off, which is probably what I should have done, and just had it as the snowflake border. See, afterthought, could have done that way. I didn't know. I was determined that I needed to hang that ornament on there. And so it doesn't look quite the way it's supposed to, which I think that I might, the more and more I'm looking at it, I need to make this ornament stand out more. So I may take some embossing powder, use my embossing pen, the embossing ink pen, and strategically plan out maybe doing the rest of it in silver, leaving the white for the snowflakes, and then doing the edge of the ornament, leaving that white, and leaving the snowflakes white, and then doing silver on these edges and these edges. That's what I'm going to do. So it'll look better. I will show you what the end result looks like. And I'm just going to leave this one the way it is. I I need to get some white glittery embossing powder. I've come to the conclusion I didn't think I wanted any, but now I'm seeing that the the white glittery would look really neat on those snowflakes. And then there's another card that I think could use it too. So I don't know. That I want to elevate my cards even more. So that's what I'm gonna do to this one, and hopefully before Christmas, before I take a batch to, I still need to call a nursing home or nursing homes. I, I'm like bad about procrastinating. That way I know how many I need, and then if I need to contact another nursing home, I can. But I want to elevate these. I want to make them as pretty as possible and give them the best card that I can make. But that is, I also have a hard time scoring. I don't know what it is. My scoring skills stink, and I'm having such a hard time sometimes with my scoring board. I don't know what the deal is, but I'm constantly fighting with that. So those. They're they're actually cards. They're not just tops. Um, and this one ends up being a stand-up one that way. The tree will fit better on a card. Let's see, 4.5, I think is what I measured it. Yeah, so it would be a very small card, 4.5. So this one I still need to figure out how to do that one to make it not look like it was just dropped on there. And then I was trying to play around tonight to see if I could take the same items and make the cards look different, or make them look different but using the same items. And I think I was able to pull it off on this one with just using these banners, where I alternated. I started off with a silver one here, a red one here, and then alternated through the banners. And I had 5 that had the points that graded into the different sizes. And then just started off with the red one here, started off with the silver glitter here, and changed the type of card. So this one opens up like this, and this one opens up this way. So, and then I had taken what was left of some of what was left of my glitter paper and mounted it all the way around. Well, I had a piece that was the exact same height, but it could be evenly on either side of the white cardstock that I had. So it's doing slight changes, but using the same type of things, but making them look just a little bit different. And then I did not want black, so I decided to use I think it's candy apple red, Tim Holtz ink, ink socks, ink oxide, however you say it, um, and stamp it so that it pulls the red, because there's way more silver glitter than there is red. So I was wanted to use the red ink to pull the red banners in. And you can do these banners with any kind of paper you want. I seen this, and I think it was on Temu as one of the examples of a specific die that was just these flag type, and it was different patterned paper. And I thought, I wonder if I could do that for a Christmas one and not use pattern paper and see what I could come up with. So I started pulling stuff out, and this is what I came up with. I think they have a little elegance to them, in my opinion. But did I show you? Yeah, this one stands. This one's the long way. Yep, I did. Sorry, tired. And then I was going down the same road with these. Is I used the same star die cut and cut them 3 times in the silver glitter paper, and then took a Christmas paper and put it as a background. Um, I did see a picture for this same die that they advertised as an example on temu, but the 3 stars are lined up to each other. I think it was a colored cardstock, and it had 3 stars, but the center one had a piece of paper in it. And so I was like, well, I'm gonna definitely try that, but I don't want to do exactly the same thing as the image on temu. Because usually when I see something, I want to do my own spin to it. And so this is where we went on a tangent on this one. I wanted music notes, but then I thought about the technique of double stamping, whereas you stamp and then you stamp on a scrap piece of paper and then you stamp your image so that it's not so bold. And I recall in their picture that there was writing on the back side behind the stars. And it wasn't a full cover, it was just a strip of words that was probably no more than an inch long based off of memory. And but the stars stood out, but it wasn't in your face, it was a more delicate card, which I really liked. So I may still duplicate that, but I was doing some playing. And the size of my card, I could not do the 3 going across. And I really didn't want to cut out, make some more card bases. But I definitely have the idea of doing that, but it's not geared towards a holiday. It's more of a neutral way you could say thank you or hello or best wishes or something like that. Non specific holiday type card. So eventually I want to do that because I really like this die. And it can be very interesting. But I forgot to use that technique, and so I took some of my white ink and did a blending over it to soften it up. Whereas here, I remembered to do the stamp off. It's you stamp, I think they call it stamp off or double stamp. I can't remember exactly the correct term. But you're stamping in your ink pad, and then you stamp it on your scrap paper, and then you stamp it on your surface. So I went a little all over the place. I didn't want it to look perfect. And here's the example of me stamping off. I would stamp my ink pad, stamp it on here, because it was another sample. I started to go this route, and the stars were getting completely lost. And I was like, nope, I don't like this. So it ended up being my stamp off page. But I think if I had stamped this down on something else and didn't do the whole piece, because this is as big as the stamp is, but if I did a partial piece and stamped off, only stamped part of it, and then stamped off, I think I would like it better because this was just too bold to me. And then it's going to depend on what your stars end up being, but the white one and the glitter just did not look, it was just too stark black. And it just seemed like it took so much away from the stars. So there's my sample. There's some of the vision that I went across. And if you think I talk too much and say too much, whatever. I I'm sure that people, I've already seen it before. People complain because I talk too much, but I want to try to share my experience with you, which is why my page is called Sharing Creations, because I'm sharing my creations. This one, I found that paper and it just I was able to fit the star to where it got the log cabin, the fence, the snow, the deer, and some of the tree. And I thought, wait a minute, I think I have a stamp that would work with this. And so when I went digging through my stamp again, I was like dashing through the snow. Oh my goodness, that really fits. But I need to do something to these stars because, like the white glitter or tinsel, they call it, because I think the stars get lost in this. So I, I, I think I want to do a white tinsel on this. I'm not sure. What do you think? Would you add white tinsel or would you leave it as is? Would you do something extra to it? I like it kind of soft and neutral like this, but then I also want to do where the stars stand out more. I don't know. I kind of think I would like it both ways. I like it this way because it's not a in your face type card, but then it kind of would elevate it to another level, adding the white tinsel to it. So there's my head process. And then the last set is I took the napkins that I hauled recently and taken some of these strips. I Mod Podged it down onto a card base or a cardstock piece. And then I Mod Podged it down. I didn't do a top coat because I wanted to keep it looking like cloth because the napkin looks like cloth. Sorry. Didn't take my allergy pills. Completely forgot. Do not have a drink sitting here. And I talk too much, so my throat's drying. I wanted it to stay looking like it was cloth. I didn't want that glue glazed shine or matte finish over it. And then I mounted it on the one paper I could find in my stack of papers because I don't have any of these colors. So the only thing that I could find, because I really like this pink, it's a really soft, pretty pink, but I don't have a soft, pretty pink. And this green is in these leaves, so I thought that it would help pop. And then mounted it on a card base. And I had taken some. I recently hauled a die cut that cuts these strips out, and then they cut out these tags with the arrow base. So I just stamped them all. That says I just want to say, and then when you open it, bam! Somebody goofed right here. So this one, instead of disregard, because I didn't stamp it well, and I didn't use my stamp press. I did on a thank you, but I didn't for your support, and I messed it up. And I was like, I tried to double stamp over it, and my alignment was terrible, and then it looked bad. And so I panicked to try to figure out how to fix that. That's what my panic came up with. Is I haven't the slightest clue what you do without trashing, putting it in the trash, how to fix your double stamps when you mess up. Anybody got any tips? 'Cause that's what I ended up doing. And it happened once. So thankfully, I got a little more comfortable with the stamp and didn't have to double stamp. I was able to stamp it correctly on the rest of them. There's some slight differences. This one's crooked. Um, uh, it's over this way too much when I mounted it. I used the double-sided tape, which doesn't give you any room for error, which is, I think, why I'm having such a hard time. Is I think until I can get comfortable with that tool, I'm going to have to start using glue to mount these down instead of the double-sided tape. Because it's a double-sided tape, get a second chance. Because if you try to pull it up, then it just shreds the paper. And so there's some slight differences. This one is over a tiny bit that way too much. Excuse me. When I was cutting, I was cutting things that you ain't supposed to cut. So yeah, be careful when you're using your gator cutter that you don't do this. Because that's what I did. I leaned my hand in. I was holding the stable bar that keeps your paper from moving. Had my fingers on that so that my paper wouldn't shift on me when I went to go cut, and leaned my hand and hit the top of my hand. That's like a was leaning pretty good, and of course I had a hard time getting it to stop. See, even my cards are different sizes because I'm having trouble with measurements. It's always been a thorn in my side is measurements. It's okay because they're homemade, and I highly doubt that people are gonna walk up when I pass these out and they're gonna go, "Oh, what's yours look like? Oh, yours is messed up here. Mine's bigger than yours." I don't think they're really gonna care. I think they're gonna appreciate the fact that they get a homemade card because only one of them has gotten a homemade card from me, and so hopefully they appreciate them. So hopefully I inspire you to try things, push the envelope, push your creativity. If you want to duplicate any of them, go for it. Um, my feelings will not be hurt because you don't put this stuff out in the public if you don't want anybody to copy. Unless you're purchasing them from me, I can't trademark it, so and I'm not selling them. So if you want to duplicate it, except use different colors because you don't like my color combination, whatever. I hope that you take something that I share with you and are able to utilize it when you create. Um, it's been a difficult week. I don't know if you can tell. I've had one of my most difficult weeks that I could possibly have, and it's been a tough couple of months. And so that's the 6 cards that I made are for the people that have been very supportive to me this week and over this past couple of months, but especially this week. Sorry. And so it's a chance for me to let them know. So if there's anybody in your life that has been helped you in any way, making them a card, I am sure will appreciate it. Goodness, so sorry. I'm gonna stop talking because I'm just gonna keep coughing. And so I have a haul coming either tomorrow, Monday. Says the 14th, so maybe tomorrow, probably Monday. Um, and so that one's an interesting one because it's got like 4 dies in there that are different from what I've bought before, and then it's got a few embossing folders in there and some different things that I haven't purchased before. I don't think anything I've got has been something that I've bought before. So I'm kind of excited about this one. Kind of not excited about a couple of things. I won't even get into it. But it should be a fun one. So I can't wait to get that one so I can prep it and share it with you and start using the items. So hit all the buttons. I appreciate you watching. And I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks. Bye.